Hello, everybody, and welcome to Choir Robes and
Church Clothes.
I'm Miss Tan.
I'm CJ.
Thank you for joining us once again. We're back and we've got some exciting news for you today. We're going to talk about some exciting topics for you. So Courtney, let's get right into it. So how was your weekend?
My weekend was good. I really remember napping. So,
that sounds good.
Yeah.
All right. So with me, what I did was I watched a lot of old sitcoms. Because I used to love those old sitcoms like Jeffersons.
Really?
And do you remember those old songs like
Moving on up.
Moving On Up? Right.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, I was ready to go.
What about the Golden Girls?
Thank you for
Being a friend. Yeah. Travel
down the road and back again. Hey, I didn't know how long we were gonna go. You wouldn't let me cut loose on the Jeffersons, so I didn't know.
All right, yeah.
Keep going.
I watched one more, and now this may be hard for you. The Nanny. You remember The Nanny?
Yes. Shoot.
I don't remember.
I don't know.
It.
It was like I know the whole thing, but
The
the
Nanny?
nanny named Friend.
Yeah,
like I know it, but you know the Sheffield's door.
Right,
she was there to
that's
sell
right.
makeup, but the father saw more.
Yeah.
There we go.
That's
Yeah. I can't remember how it starts, but
Right.
anyways, yes.
That's it.
I love
so,
that. My mom loves that show.
Really?
Actually.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah,
I
that's
love
funny.
that show.
I mean, yeah, that's good TV.
Yes.
You know, it's hard to find some good TV.
That's
nowadays,
right. That's right.
Despite what you heard.
So that's what I did this
Okay.
weekend. I watched a lot of old sitcoms, so I enjoyed that. All
Yeah.
right. So and also went to church.
Yes,
we
always,
came here.
always.
We had a great time
We did,
Sunday.
We did.
All right. And so now we're going to get into our hot gospel. We're not going to take any time. We're going to get into this hot gospel.
All right. Not pulling any punches. I did want to update you because
Okay.
I promised that I would.
Yes.
About the Lakewood shooting.
Oh, yeah.
So, the little baby, it was a 7-year-old boy.
Mhm.
So I call him a baby just because he's small.
Right.
It was her son.
Okay.
The shooter. It was actually her son that she
Okay.
did bring with her. Unfortunately.
Wow.
His name was Samuel, or is Samuel. He is okay.
Oh, good.
He did have to have quite a few surgeries, though, and I know that they had to remove part of his frontal lobe of his brain. Yeah, I know. It was really, really troubling to like read over this.
Yes.
And like the doctors were just saying, because that's really a part of you that's like very provides a lot of identification for
Right.
like who you are. So it's just really unfortunate that, you know, he was put in that position.
That's right. Yeah.
And I'm just so glad that he is okay
Yeah.
physically.
Right.
And I just pray that, you know, he
Right.
recovers. God can work miracles, so
That's right.
that he can take care of the rest of that situation.
Do you actually know his name? Did you get his name?
His name was Sam. His name is
Yes,
Samuel.
Okay.
Carranza.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll be praying for him.
We will.
Yeah.
We will. Shoot your prayers up.
Yeah, that's right. So, what about the rest of this old hot gospel?
Oh.
What you got for me, Courtney?
Okay. So that's probably what part of the time I spent this weekend. I had to rest.
Okay.
I had to rest after watching this. So there is a Nigerian singer,
Okay.
rapper,
Mhm.
who had a concert.
Okay.
And his name is Omah Lay.
Right.
Okay, now happened is that Omah Lay and this young lady did a very listen, I can't describe this dance to
Okay.
you, Miss Tan.
Okay.
What I'm gonna have to do,
Okay.
I'm gonna have to let you get the blind reaction of this dance. Because
Okay.
I cannot describe it to you. The dance was for 2 minutes and I couldn't watch all 2 minutes.
Oh.
So I'm gonna show you
Okay.
what Omah Lay and this young lady named Jasani were doing on stage, and then we can talk about it.
Yes, we can.
what that was.
Okay. We'll take a look at this.
All right. There we go.
Okay.
You know, they start off, just walk into the stage. That's okay. She's showing off her outfit and everything, but right. And
Ooh,
they
dropped the
and
curtain.
you know there's trouble.
Yes.
So,
Oh wow. Oh yeah. Wow. Whoa. Okay.
all right, and for your benefit, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get it up, and do you see it made me play. It still does.
Right.
I don't know how the people could be in the audience,
Right.
but this is about your blind reaction because I've tried to watch it, but this is just the first like 30 seconds. So
was the boyfriend actually there?
the boyfriend was like this at the edge of the gate,
Oh.
watching that situation.
Oh wow. Okay. So
Yeah.
how disrespectful. Okay, so I'm trying to think of what I would have done. I probably actually wouldn't have gone up there, first of all, but
And why would you say that? Why would you probably not go up there?
because I would feel like there's something that's going to happen. And it's, oh no, I probably wouldn't have done that.
Yeah. And you know, I can understand just because I want your whole take, but just starting off the not going up there because I know people have celebrity crushes out here. I'm not going to talk about who mine is.
Right.
But you know, when you have that and then you get in a situation like most of the time it's like, I have the celebrity crush, but I'm never going to see them.
Right.
I'm never going
That's
to
true.
interact with them. And so that's kind of like in this little box over here.
Right.
And when homegirl got pulled up on stage,
she was like, okay.
she was out the box.
Yeah. All right. Got a chance. Okay, let's get with it.
All right. So you wouldn't have done it. But
I
now,
wouldn't have
when
done
you
it.
know that the boyfriend was there, what are your thoughts? And him watching his girlfriend.
Oh my goodness. I think that was so disrespectful. I don't know because I'm looking like, did he stay there? Did he walk out? Do you know if he walked out?
I do. So he stayed there for a while because it was a 2-minute dance. So I feel like it was one of those like love hate. You gotta like he was in shock.
Right.
The worst part about it is this is just one view. It was all over social media. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about. So many views, so many angles, and they were panning to his face and then panning back to her and what she was doing, and then panning back. And as he was leaving, security was like, you know, they were at him laughing. You know, he was the joke of
I can imagine
entire concert.
Yeah, and I kind of wonder what was the conversation when they got home.
Yeah. And so that's a good question. I know that a couple of videos that I saw, because I did a little research after, there showed some people, and I don't know who this was that was filming him, but him literally walking away from the venue. Like, you know, when you're downtown or whatever, on the sidewalk, he's walking and somebody's filming laughing and he just looked so dejected. And he was alone. She was not with him when he was walking home. So
yeah, I feel bad for him. I really do. And especially the social media stuff. Oh, they ate him up.
Oh, they ate him up?
Yeah, and
and they double, triple, quadruple ate her up. Like it was one, like she tried to do the videos to tell her side.
Right, but it didn't work.
It did not work.
It didn't work.
Sis, no ma'am, okay?
Oh, Lord.
And there were just stories swirling about, oh, they're together 7 years. That was not facts because I watched an interview with him and another gentleman, and he did confirm that they were together less than a year, but does that matter, Ms. Tam?
Yeah, no.
It doesn't matter how long.
No.
They could have been together a month.
Right.
But if you're together, then that's on, this is just one level of it. If you're in a relationship with somebody that's committed, then that's a no.
Right.
It's just a no.
Just a no.
Yeah. And then there's a whole nother level of the dancing and the intimacy. Right. So you guys saw it because our wonderful producer is going to have that up there. But it's just like, you can't just be out here in the streets dancing like that.
You can't do that. No.
Like,
But you know what? It brings my mind back to, I remember, I don't know if you saw it or not, Janet Jackson was on tour. When she brought that guy up there. Oh my gosh! I was so gonna talk about that. Okay, tell me what you done doing. She brought that guy up there and I was like, oh my Lord. Oh. But you know, I don't know what people said about her though. I don't think they dogged.
Now, listen.
Okay.
And I'm not gonna say, but we all know when she says, "I'm Miss Jackson,"
right?
And you know exactly. What she's saying. So yeah, and I don't know if I don't want to say it's a different time, but it was just like I never was really aware that there's a level of that was going on at concerts, because I've been to several concerts, in fact. But I've never been to one where somebody got pulled up on stage. Like, I just haven't been to those. Yeah. So it was surprising for me. I was like, what the world? Right. Like, this looks like a club of the stripping kind. Exactly. And like, no. And then Janet, woo, baby.
Yeah, that was something.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
So I couldn't, like, Janet is the artist. So she was attacking them. Right. Like, y'all just got to look at it.
Look at that one too.
I can't.
That was a lot.
I can't believe you watched that.
Yes, I did. I was like this, and I go,
I know. Like, oh my, Janet, what are you doing? Is it over? Like, I can't. It's, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I watched it.
Well, I mean, listen, that is what brings me to like the topic of the day.
Okay.
Because it's kind of like, okay, what is modest and what is inappropriate in our world? Because it just seems like our spectrum is just, I don't even know. I want to know. I mean, you think about modesty and it's like, okay, basic terms of quality or state of being that, you know, people would assume is moderate, right? Like an estimation of abilities or other things. And then inappropriateness, obviously something that's unsuitable. For a particular situation, time, place, etc. And so it's just kind of like, okay, like, is there a sense that collectively do we care about modesty at this point?
Yeah, I don't think so, but we're gonna talk about that. But before we do, we're gonna hear from our sponsor.
Okay.
All right. And so our sponsor is RC3, our church, 4748 New Allen Road. You can come by and visit us every Sunday morning. Bible study starts at 9:15 to 10:15. And then we go into our service at 10:45. If you make it here at 11, you won't miss anything, all right? All right, so thank you, sponsors, once again. RC3 4748 New Allen Road. All right, back to our main topic, modesty.
Yes.
And inappropriateness.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So, you know what? I really don't think a lot of people think about being modest. I think that the more inappropriate they can be
and get away with
it, they like it. You know, because when I grew up, it was a certain way that we had to present ourselves. Mom and dad wasn't having all of that. We couldn't wear certain things, you know. And so, but nowadays, it's like, you know, everything's out there. Okay, whatever is whatever, and they will do it. Most of them will do it. And a lot of times, I think it's social media.
Yeah.
So they do it when they put it on social media, they do it for the likes and all of that. Yeah. So I think that plays a big part of it, because you have a lot of celebrities out there and they're telling you that you can, you know, make money. I think they got, I don't know what that page is called for a lot of celebrities that do a lot of stuff. But anyway, they make money off that. And so I think they just, you know, whatever.
Yeah, it's definitely the disease of keeping up with the Joneses. You see somebody out here wearing something, you're like, I can do it better, or I can do that too. I also think that there's like the distortion of reality. Okay. So you mentioned celebrities, and that's an excellent point, because it's like, you'll see a celebrity on red carpet. Now, I'm not saying that, hey, everything is cool that people wear, but it's like, it's one thing to be on a red carpet for a movie such as like Dune.
Right.
Zendaya, amazingly talented and huge right now. She's wearing all of these crazy, but several fierce outfits on the red carpet. So we could, have some of those pictures, but it's like, yeah, some of those are quite revealing. And I wouldn't say in everyday life, but it's kind of like being on the runway.
Right.
And so to some extent, it's like she's an actress. She's got to wear the fancy designers and like, you can't wear the Gap to a red carpet event.
That's true.
And that's different than just being at Target. Because a lot of times, not everybody, they are just like us. You'll see them at Starbucks wearing this, wearing t-shirts, jogging pants, bag, stuff like that. And so it's like we like, what is it? Romanticize how they live and things that they do, and then try to normalize that with like what we got going on. To go into Starbucks, you do not need to have on a skin tight dress that is so short that if you bend over and drop your coffee, that we got problems for the gentleman that's in the like. That makes no sense. Right. So it's just like we really got to think.
Exactly, we do. And what do you think about? Have you ever been in a Christian environment and people come in and dress inappropriately though? Have you ever?
I mean, yeah. Well, okay. So I used to, it's actually kind of funny. We used to go to what they call the youth conference, a national youth conference back when I was a kid. And it was great. Like all of the youth groups from different churches would come together, usually on a college campus. And so we get to like explore the campuses while we're there. And they had a dress code. At the time, we was trying to boycott the dress code. We followed it, but we were always like very upset. And one thing I remember was that specifically to the dress code was that girls had to always wear skirts. And I was always like frustrated with that because I'm sorry, but that was very old fashioned. And I and my other youth group people would always complain like, bro, you don't want us to wear capris. But these girls got these dresses on, and they're, how everybody got their pants down. They're above the fingertips. And I'm like, I want to wear capri pants, and y'all are tripping. Like they would let us. I think we always did some big outing. So like one of the ones I remember, we went to like Six Flags, and another one we went to the Grand Canyon. So it's like, ain't nobody wearing a skirt to go to the Grand Canyon. We just not doing that. So the free day was the only day you could do it. Other than that, we had to wear skirts all the time. And I just always thought it was funny because we were in compliance. We didn't have the super short skirts. It was like, you could just let us wear pants and we'd be all covered up, but you would rather say it's a skirt and then have the skirts be super short. And it was just like, that's me. So it was technically inappropriate in terms of the rules of the conference, but it was also not modest or inappropriate in terms of it just being too short, and it didn't make sense.
Yeah. So, and another thing too, I can remember when my daughter was in high school, my youngest daughter, she was in high school. She would always get in trouble for her uniform because they had the uniform. So she never wanted to wear just the regular khaki bottoms and the shirts, and so she left home like that.
Oh Lord!
But they would call me. Can you come to the school? Cause Sade boots, child. She had on the long boots, like the khaki skirts. Okay, but she gonna have on some long pink boots, she'll have on a pink jacket, something to set everything off. And I was like, Sade, why are you doing this? I don't want to wear those khaki pants. This stuff is ugly. And I said, well, you can't just dress like that going to school. And this was like 2 or 3 times a week they would call me.
Oh no!
Can you come up here? Sade has.
I'm trying to figure out where she hiding these boots. Like
I know.
I've seen movies where the girls be quick changing their clothes, but boots, boots, ma'am, and hot boots of the variety.
She had all color boots.
Like, was her backpack empty?
She was like in like 11th, 12th grade, so she had purple boots, she had pink boots, all color boots.
That sounds nice.
And she would dress it up, and I would find out because I would look on pictures and stuff, and here she is, and how'd you do that? She was getting in trouble all the time.
Yeah.
So it was like, but
it's funny. My high school did jump into the uniforms. It was after I graduated though, so I didn't have those problems. But yeah, I mean that's another way where it's technically outside of the lines of inappropriateness. So yeah.
So and I always, when I go to church, this may seem strange, but I always ask my husband because I'm married.
Oh yeah.
Before I leave, I said, does this look okay?
Oh.
You know, and he'll look at me and say, okay, that looks pretty good. I say, okay, I just want to make sure, because one thing about when you're going to church and when you're singing, what you don't want to do, and you don't want to have all of the attention on what you have on.
Yeah.
Because then people will stop listening to what you're saying and your ministry and start watching what you have on. And a prime example, I had the opportunity some years ago to be on this panel of judges. And so they had different artists, gospel artists, to come in, and they would stand before us, they would sing, do a song, and we had to critique them and judge them and kind of give them some pointers. Okay, this is what you should do. This is what. And so this was one male group. Now, this was a male group. They came in, they had on all black, but they all had big gold chains.
Oh.
And so then they started singing. And I was like, okay, I'm not really listening to what they're saying, because I'm looking at those gold, all of them had on gold chains, big gold chains. Like, why do they have on these big gold chains? So one of the things that I told them, because on the panel, they would always say I was the sound, you know, I never, I would just go on and tell you, you know, I wouldn't sugarcoat it or anything. So I just explained to them that, you know, you don't want to be out there, you draw a lot of attention to what you have on, because you want people to hear what you are saying in your ministry. So, you know, I can understand that. So,
I think that, you know, now there's just a couple of things. There's people, because there's no consensus for our country on anything. Let's just be real about that.
Right.
But, you know, when it comes to being modest, then, I mean, you have to have a realistic impression and a healthy like realistic vision of yourself. Right. So if you don't have that, then if you don't have that self-value, self-worth, then why would you even think that modesty would even matter? Yeah, that's true. Right. And then just like you said, something else you can do is seek out other people's opinion or criticism of a trusted person. Right. Not the fledglings of the internet. I said constructive criticism. Okay. So your husband can tell you rightly, hey, that's for me. Go add this or take away that or what have you.
And I do remember a long time ago, we were going to church, the mothers, if your dress was too short, they would put a cloth in front of you, like if you sit in the front row. And even now, like when I'm in church, I basically sit on the front row. And if I even think, I don't wear short dress, but if I even think my dress, I would bring a scarf to church and put it across my lap, because I'm like, okay, I don't want to be inappropriate. I want to sit up on the front row and cover up or whatever. So yeah, the mothers would do that back in the day. They would simply tell you, baby, you can't wear that to church now. We're not doing that, you know. So yeah.
That's 100%. Yeah. And I have seen the ladies of the church do it. And the one last thing that I thought was actually interesting is the way that there's kind of the vague line between modesty and inappropriateness when it comes to like competition. So we've talked about celebrities, but there's models. And you don't want to think about what happens backstage, because I know that they, just put it this way, they got a quick change. And there just be people everywhere.
Exactly.
And you can tell by the outfits, the couture and such that they wear, that a lot of times you know that there's nowhere to put the underclothing.
Exactly.
You know? Right. And so that wouldn't work for me.
Right.
I know back in the day when I used to watch Top Model and they had those nudity episodes and they were like, I can't do it. Some people would make fun of them, whatever I have you. I'm like, that's a no. That's just a no.
Right.
So that's one thing, which is kind of in competition, you know. Also, I was thinking about something that a lot of people watch is dance competitions and how children start from itty bitty tiny tots up to dancing. And when you think about the costumes that the dancers wear and the types of dances that they do, sometimes, depending on the choreography, they can be dancing in basically like a bra and, you know, some little cheerleader shorts or very small short bottoms. And then be, you know, because of dance, there's a lot of leg extensions. There's a lot of splits and things like that. And so it's like, while it's understandable, a lot of times it's lyrical and beautiful, you've also got to take into account the age, appropriateness of the outfits, you know, what the music is talking about, and the moves. Because even though she might be able to do a split into a side, you know, I don't know all the terminology, but like, does she need to do that? Facing the audience and things like that. So I think that we've got a ways to go.
Exactly. So what about the gymnasts?
Now, the gymnasts, listen, I love the Olympics. Mad respect to the gymnasts. And honestly, that is the only area where I think there's not really much more they can do. They try. I think as far as I've seen, and because we've been watching the Olympics and gymnasts forever, but they have the tape and stuff that they try to keep. Most of the time, you know, they got to get the wedgies out. That's just natural. But like they wear long sleeves, and then it's basically a bathing suit, a full set bathing suit. So they have to be aerodynamic. Most of their outfits are, you know, pretty smooth. It's kind of like when you think about the swimmers. Okay, you know, they have to have on, you know, that. But I think theirs is probably the most modest and appropriate. So that's a really, really good example out of everybody that we've talked about, because they're flipping through the air. They're doing a lot of stuff. They're dancing, but most of the time it's not in a suggestive way from the years and years that I've watched. So
do you remember when Venus and Serena, they first came out? Their outfits changed. Their outfits changed. I think was it Serena?
Serena.
Her outfit
Serena
really changed.
is curvaceous.
Yes.
And Serena, listen, she was out here being Serena.
So
when you are the GOAT, all I can say is you're magically talented, ma'am. I don't have any words for you other than congratulations on your career.
So you know what? I think this was great. I think this topic was great. Hope you guys enjoyed everything.
Let us know in the comments. First of all, did you have any school uniforms? Because I sure didn't. Did you bring boots in your backpack? And what do you think is where we should draw the line on modesty versus inappropriateness? Did any of the people that we mentioned, you know, remind you of something that happened? Like Janet, did y'all make it all the way through the video? Because I didn't.
All right. Well, we thank you so much. And don't forget to like,
subscribe,
and
follow
and
share.